Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Issues and Artists. I am your host today, Joyce Walker, and we have a fabulous guest today. I'm actually honored to have this person on the stage because I've had so many questions about some of the things he's going to talk about today. My guest today is Mr. Terrence Howard. Thank you, Terrence, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and let me tell you about Terrence. Terrence served on the police department for 24 years, okay? And he's actually retired now. That's why he's able to be with us on the stage actually today. And he is going to talk about his book that he just published. An author, thank you very much. And look at this book here, okay? We're going to show this for you. It's entitled This Gun's for Hire by Terrence Howard. So this is his first book. So we're going to talk about that. And Terrence, you're going to explain what it was like to actually get a book done. So first of all, before we get into that, and he's going to tell you a lot about this book, I want you to talk to me and let me know, what was it like growing up thinking that you would be a police officer? So let's start right there.
I wish it was that way when I grew up, but to be honest, I never had any dreams of being a police officer.
Okay.
Furthest thing from my mind, I wanted to be a musician. That was the road that I was traveling. But life has its twists and its turns, as every one of us learns.
Right.
I got off the track and I started a family.
Okay.
And music wasn't paying the bills, so I needed a real job, according to my mother. She said, baby, you need a real job.
Okay.
The police department was hiring. I took a shot. I got lucky. And I gotta say, 24 years later, it's the best job I ever had.
Wow.
It's the best job I ever had.
That's good to hear.
I can also say it's the hardest job I ever had.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be very honest.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, what happened, even though you didn't grow up thinking that you would be a police officer?
Yes.
Were you just out there just going through the yellow pages and thinking about what kind of job can I apply for? Was there anything about being a policeman, though, that you thought that was interesting to you during that time?
The only thing that was appealing to me was the pay.
Okay.
Because at the time I was a dishwasher. I was washing dishes and playing a little saxophone on the side. The pay would have doubled my income.
Okay.
I wasn't really looking forward to the job requirement side of it because I am not a person who likes to deal with conflict. I don't like trouble. So I knew if I took this job, I would have to deal with other people's problems, and I got enough of my own.
Right.
But I had a family, and I had babies to feed, a wife to take care of. So I jumped in, and after a while, I really got into it. It really became a part of me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I want to talk about this job because there's so much to talk about within the 24 years that you were there. Let's start with this. I'm going to start with the overview. Tell me one of your best accomplishments and tell me one of your greatest challenges when you were at the department.
I would say my greatest accomplishment was to survive the era that I worked under.
Okay.
The 24 years I worked under. I started in '86. I called it the crack cocaine era.
Okay.
The rise in crack cocaine, gang violence, gun use, murder, madness, man. It was just crazy out there on the streets. And I survived. And I never got hurt.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
never had to take a life. I did 24 years, and all I wanted to do was get a pension, which for 2 years running, at money's in the bank.
Great.
And I kept my sanity.
Yeah.
And also, I can look at myself in the mirror and live with what I see looking back at me because I did the job the right way. I didn't go out there and abuse my authority.
Okay.
I treated people right, and I can live with that.
Okay.
That was my biggest accomplishment.
All right. Very good.
Now, my biggest challenge was trying to, and I think any police officer's biggest challenge is to stay motivated, to stay focused, and to not get bitter.
Okay.
Because this is a thankless job. This is one of the most thankless jobs I can think of. A soldier in war
Right.
a school teacher, any public servant. They got thankless jobs.
Okay.
The police department is men and women who work for a customer who don't appreciate them 50% of the time. You see, the job is serve and protect. Now, what I have found in 24 years is the public is very much down with that protect. They want that half 100%.
Okay.
Protect my house, protect my car, protect my children, protect my property, protect my life. And even at the point of me risking my life to protect. But now when we get to the serve side, that's more like 10%.
Okay, 10%.
Because that car you want me to protect, when you put it on Lakeshore Drive and you're going 25 miles over the speed limit, now I'm supposed to serve you.
Right.
Oh, you don't want that serve. You want to talk about what they're doing 10 blocks over, or you want to talk about the drug sales 10 blocks down, or you want to talk about the crack house 10 blocks over. I want to talk about this traffic violation right now. Let's talk about that. You don't want to do that. So, you know, you got to take it as a grain of salt because we're police officers. We're just serving. We're not trying to win a popularity contest.
Right.
Because you're never going to win it.
Right.
So you just do your job, try to stay focused, and not take this job personal.
Okay.
You just take it serious.
Okay. Now going back to the part where you said thankless. I have some ideas, but give me a real example of a situation that happened to you where you would put that under the category of a thankless job.
Thankless. Well, one that pops into mind. I had a complaint of loud music once. And it's funny because I was working with a young rookie and I was trying to explain to him how this job works. That the public, they expect you to work at the highest standard, but they don't expect that from themselves. This guy made 2 calls about loud music complaints. This complainant. But each time he made the call, he was anonymous. He didn't want to give his name, which is okay, no problem. We still respond.
Right.
But I did not hear a loud music complaint. So what we do when we don't have a founded incident, we unfound it. So I unfounded it on the radio, unfounded. He calls again. He's still anonymous. And I drive by again. I went to the front and the back, still heard no music. I didn't find it was founded. I unfounded it.
Okay.
Now, 10 minutes later, this same guy calls for a supervisor. Now he want to complain on the police. He gave his address, he gave his name, he gave his phone number. You see, now he wants to complain on me. So now he wants to be very proactive, aggressive. He's not trying to be anonymous anymore. That's what I mean, thankless. It's not like I didn't do the job.
Right.
His interpretation and my interpretation of loud music just happened to be different. But when it came time to report me, he wasn't trying to be anonymous.
Right.
It goes with the territory. You got to deal with it.
Right.
So
Okay. That's fair. And
I
I'm
remember
sure,
his name, though.
Yeah, you remember his name too, right?
Yeah.
Right. Also, too, something that I hear every day, and I'm sure you hear it now too. I hear so many people that have their different interpretations of the police department and policemen. Now, you happen to be our expert here on the stage today.
Yeah.
So, what I want to know from you is, why do you think, well, first of all, let's back up. Do you think the police are understood or misunderstood? I'm sorry. Do you think the police are misunderstood? And if you do, why?
I wouldn't say misunderstood. I would say misrepresented.
Okay.
Because you only get 2 sides of the story. You get the version from the superintendent, the mayor, the union. They're going to give you the positive side. Then you got the other spectrum. You got your community activists, the community, the civil rights attorneys, and the major media. They're going to give the negative side. You won't get what's in the middle or the whole story because you won't get it from the police. See, the police can't talk about it. And there's a reason why they can't.
Right.
I brought this to show you. This is the rules of the Chicago Police Department. These are rules and regulations that you have to follow.
Right.
Now, if you don't follow these rules and regulations, these rules and regulations cost you your job.
Okay.
They won't send you to jail, but they'll cost you your job. And I just want to point out one, well, actually two. There's 55 of these rules, but I want to read Rule 32.
All right.
And that is engaging in any public statements, interviews, activities, deliberation, or discussion pertaining to the police department which reasonably can be foreseen to impair the discipline, efficiency, public service, or public confidence in the department or its personnel. Now that's where the problem comes in. You can't make false statements or reckless, unsupported accusations. But the problem I see is what is reasonable and what can reasonably be foreseen, and who makes the determination. I might not think it's a reckless statement. I might think it's an accurate statement. So may my sergeant. So may my lieutenant. So may my captain. So may my district commander. But now it gets up to the chief of patrol. He don't like it. And it rolls downhill. So he says to my district commander to tell my captain, to tell my lieutenant, to tell my sergeant to write him up. So police officers know these rules exist. So they can't speak. So who speaks for us? These people over here and these people over here. And you never get the truth. That's why I wrote this book.
Okay. Now let me go back to this. I want to make sure we really cut it down to the least common denominator. That's, you know, that's how I do things. Now, I'm going back though, even though that was great that you pointed that out about the rules, and I understand they can't come to the media, they can't probably do a talk show like what you're doing right now, right? And speak out, honestly. But I'm going to take you to the neighborhood now. People that I talk to every day, people on the street, have certain images. Some people have certain images of the police. Okay, that's where I want to go to. And I think that police people, men or women, are misunderstood. But there, like you say, your images, there are images there. But go to the beat officer or the person that's in this community. Why do you think those police people are misunderstood? And are they? You know, I mean, because the bottom line is the people I talk to a lot of times, you got to know the cars serve and protect. It's almost like they don't believe it. Okay, if you did a poll with some people, they don't believe that. They think that, you know, you're there maybe to make some money, whoever is on the department, and maybe not there to really serve. So I want to kind of talk about that because I want to see that gap closer. Honestly, I do. And I think it's because there's some images out there that are maybe negative images, but let's talk about why do you think they're there?
Because negative images are the images that are constantly fed to the public. The negative images are fed more, and the positive images are sometimes never fed. They're just, it's like a parent and a child. The child feels real angry when you discipline him, and he resents you for disciplining him. But when you buy those Christmas toys and the shoes, they just take it for granted. That's what I'm supposed to get. And that's how the public is. They remember the negative side, and they just don't appreciate the positive things, the positive influences the police have in the neighborhood. And there's nothing that can be done about it because policemen are policemen. Our image is negative. What do police do? We write you tickets. We tell you, you can't park your car here. We put boots on your car if we write you too many tickets. We write you traffic tickets, make you have to go to traffic court. We come in your neighborhood, block the street, you can't go this way. We chase people, we catch people, we beat people up. We spray them with mace, we shoot them with tasers, we hit them with batons. And that's not all we do. I mean, I cross little school kids to school. Policemen go and burn in buildings and bring out people. We ain't gonna talk about that. Policemen get shot and killed trying to save your life. That's just unfortunate. That ain't unfortunate, that's tragic.
That's tragic.
But it's not as tragic as when a little 7